You're listening to the Upward Bound podcast, where we rise together.
We're here to guide you through high school, college prep, and everything in between, one episode at a time.
Whether you're already in the program or just curious about how Upward Bound works, this podcast is your inside scoop, support system, and survival guide.
Let's dive in.
Today, we're kicking off our first season by doing a summary of the most common questions we get asked about Upward Bound. And we couldn't think of anyone better to talk to than Michelle Spillane. Michelle is from Fairbanks, Alaska, and has received a master's degree from the University of Alaska Fairbanks in education and from the University of Alaska Southeast in educational leadership. Over the past 20 years, she has taught career technical education, science technology, engineering, language arts, and history courses. She also served as a high school principal in the Fairbanks area. Michelle is a first-generation college graduate and the current director of Upward Bound at the University of Alaska Fairbanks.
Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to the Upward Bound podcast. My name is Jack Ewers.
And I'm Jessica Massey.
And today we're here with Upward Bound Director Michelle Spillane. Michelle, how are you doing today?
Great. Thank you so much for having me.
Great to have you on. Before we get to all those frequently asked questions, we should start with learning a little bit about you, who you are, and how you came to get involved and become the director of Upward Bound here at UAF.
Yes, I came to be the director of Upward Bound about a year and a half ago in June of 2024, and came by the way of teaching for our local school district and then becoming a high school principal. I've also owned my own business here in town, so I've lived in Alaska since 1992 and just made my way through UAF and UAS, and just really excited about the opportunity to move to the university side and then create a bridging program and work with Upward Bound to introduce the program to students around the state.
What is Upward Bound? What's your elevator pitch on what Upward Bound is?
Sure. Well, Upward Bound is a federal program that helps high school students graduate and take the next steps towards college. And that's kind of it in a nutshell. So it's designed specifically for students from families where no one has graduated with the four-year degree yet, and for those that might face financial barriers. So the program offers support, resources, and encouragement to help students succeed in school and build a strong path toward a higher education.
How does Upward Bound work with students to make that a reality?
Right now, we are offering a variety of services, so that can include tutoring at your local high school. We also hire tutoring from our program if a local tutor is not available. We help with SAT test prep. We do campus tours. We offer one-on-one academic career planning, not just for college or after high school, but we also look at what's happening at a high school level, making sure students take the right classes in order to get the Alaska Performance Scholarship. So our goal is for all Alaska high school students to graduate with one of the options of the Alaska Performance Scholarship. And so with that career counseling, we also talk to students about keeping their GPA 2.5 or above.
I wanted to ask, what advice do you have for high school seniors that are just unsure about what they want to do after high school?
I think part of that is just finding out what their interests are. So what are you good at? What makes you tick? What are some of those things that are very interesting to you? And what do you want to do after high school? And a lot of students say they want to make money. Okay, so what does that look like? What kind of money do you want to make? What kind of education is going to need to be invested? What time needs to be invested into that education so that you can have that job? And a lot of students, they want to move away from home. Some students want to stay in their hometown, and both decisions are great. And so it's just making a plan and talking to someone about that plan, doing some career exploration would be my advice.
That's good advice. What makes this program unique compared to other college prep programs?
I think Upward Bound, one of the things that we offer is a deep dive into academic planning. We have the staff and the skill level to have a wraparound service. So we can offer tutoring as well as campus tours. So we're not just tutoring at the high school level, but we are bringing our students to a college campus where students become familiar with that space and they meet the experts. They could have some hands-on experiences in terms of lab time with our professionals. And so that makes us different in that you're not only getting that support at a high school level, but also at a college level.
You noted that it's a federally funded program. Probably something that a lot of people are wondering, is the program free of charge? And does that include, the extracurriculars? So like the workshops that are offered, the college visits, the summer programs.
Great question. That's a question we get all the time. So if a student is eligible for an upward bound seat in our program, everything is paid for. So that's including SAT test prep, SAT registration fees. It covers campus tours. It covers summer program. And oftentimes, even in the summer program, we are able to offer 3-credit college classes. So it can get students prepared and ready to take that next step, but it's completely covered.
The next question that many people have when they hear about Upward Bound, how do you apply?
Our Upward Bound application process is very straightforward. It's a simple application. You can find it at any participating school. We have coaches at every site that have applications on hand, or you can find the link on our website. Some of the questions it's going to ask you is, who are you as a student? And what are some of your interests? Why would you like to be a part of Upward Bound? What are your goals after high school, if you have those already? If not, that's okay. That's what the program is for as well. And then it talks a little bit about the eligibility part of Upward Bound. It will ask about the education of your parents, your guardian. And then the other piece is the income guidelines. And so those are easy to find. Those are on the Department of Education website, and they're updated every January. Alaska has its own criteria of income guidelines. And so it just asks basically, what was your yearly income? We receive the application and it's processed in secured files here at the office. And we will look over for the eligibility. So some of our students are both eligible under our first generation, that would be the education portion, or the income guidelines. So it can be one or both of those. And then once a student becomes eligible, we send them a welcome letter and introduce them to the coach if they don't already know the site coach.
Yeah, you touched on coaches there. So maybe you could talk a little bit more about where we're represented and that relationship between the students at a participating school and the coach.
Yeah, so right now we have 11 sites around Alaska with the Upward Bound Classic Grant and Upward Bound Math and Science Grant. And at each site, we have 1 to 2 coaches that help us implement the objectives for the grant, which is what I kind of said earlier, was helping students prepare for after high school careers while they're in high school. So at each site, we have a coach. We are not in the communities every week. However, we do make time to go to each site during the year. So we will visit each site, but our primary contact for each school is our coach. Another way to access some of our resources is look at our website, email us. We're very available. We have quite a few things we have planned on the staff side every month, but our coaches are amazing educators that are in the community, and that's our focus, is employing educators that are in the community. They know their families, they know their students, and they know their community the best. And so we make a great effort to support their efforts throughout the year.
Are you recruiting for UAF? If a student signs up, are they committed to attend classes at the University of Alaska Fairbanks?
No, actually, we are not recruiters for UAF. There has been students that have come to UAF, but we currently have last year's seniors. We have students in and out of the state. So do we have students that come to UAF? The answer is yes, they do come here, but we are not recruiting for UAF. However, it makes it really easy for us to bring students here on campus just to get a feel for what college life is like in any dorm, in any dining facility, in lab space. But we really lean in and find out where our students want to go to college, and we help them open those doors.
Outside of the academic year, what sort of summer programming is available for participating Upward Bound students?
Every year, we tend to have a slightly different focus for our summer program. I will say that the summer program planning for 2026 is just getting off the ground. It looks as if we are going to develop 2 academies for our students this year. Our focus is always to offer credits for our students. So in order to do that, we need to start planning early. early. So our planning for summer will probably kick off here in October. And so we'll have two different academies. One is going to be a writing academy where students are able to receive 3 credits of college credit, which equates to 1 full year of English in most of our Alaska high schools. And the second academy is going to be a science academy where students learn about their communities through a class called ethnobotany. And so our teacher is very excited about taking this challenge on. Students will get 3 credit science credit or elective credit at a college level. And then it's also, like I said earlier, most high schools in Alaska will count that as a full year of science. And both of those academies will end with some type of hands-on excursion, lab, or field trip. And so we'll be rolling those out over the next couple months, and application process typically starts right after winter break is over.
What sort of events happen during the school year that Upward Bound students can participate in?
So on a local level, all of our sites have weekly meetings with the coach. So every site has weekly meetings. It's usually peppered into their schedule or put into their schedule as they see fit, and it works for their school schedule. The other thing that we are offering are campus tours. So this coming year, we'll have 2 campus tours second semester that will come to UAF and introduce students to what college life is on a campus. We offer a monthly senior Zoom that Jessica is spearheading. So we focus on getting our students ready to fill out the FAFSA. We talk about scholarships, and we do a lot of time invested in our students in that way. So that's every month. We offer SAT and ACT test prep throughout the year, quarterly workshops. Like I said earlier, we very much enjoy spending time on site when we can, fly out to our communities, and we bring workshops. So we will host workshops on site, and then we'll also host workshops on Zoom or something of that nature if it's not in person. And then one of the other events that we do host is a senior commitment ceremony. So Upward Bound students that are seniors who are going to the UA system, we bring them to Fairbanks and we celebrate them as a university. So that's part of Upward Bound, but it's a bigger part of our bridging program here at UAF.
What happens next? We have these Upward Bound students, they graduate, they move on to a post-secondary program. What sort of a relationship does Upward Bound have with those students after high school? And how do we connect them to other resources once they're in the post-secondary environment?
Students that are in Upward Bound, we track their progress for 6 years after high school. So we are looking at where they're enrolled, if they receive a bachelor's degree in 6 years, what certificates they're currently enrolled or receiving. So those are the things that we track for data. Upward Bound is heavy in data requirements, so we definitely get to know our students over a course of about 10 years. And then we also have partners on campuses around the nation. So Student Support Services is a sister federal grant, if you will. So we oftentimes will find out where the student is going to college, and we'll have them sign up for student support services on that campus. And many of those programs have academies themselves. And so we will hand their enrollment into that college to SSS. So we don't service students in colleges, but we partner with other agencies so that they are supported and taken care of. And of course, it's easy enough if students do end up coming to UAF. We have an office on campus, and so we oftentimes will see students coming in and out just as a pep talk or a note of encouragement. So we will continue that support on that end as those coming through the university where we have an office.
I think I just have one more question. How does Upward Bound both share a lot in common with other programs, and what are the unique difficulties or unique challenges presented within the Alaskan environment?
That's a great question. So Upward Bound typically serves around 60,000 students on a yearly basis across the U.S. And each program enrolls between 50 to 100 students. Some have more than that. One of our grants has 160 students, and another Upward Bound grant that we are serving a school has 60 seats for students. So that number does vary across the nation, but the program services students that are first generation and have income financial barriers. Some of the grant requirements that I would say that are unique to Alaska is just just the vast miles between our sites. So I think as a UAF Upward Bound program, our first intention is to hire a local educator to service our students because they know our students the best. They know the communities the best. They know the parents and what makes the school community work. Our first intent is to hire someone on a local level to encourage our students. And I think that meeting the grant requirements, that's if we start there, we typically are quite successful. And then getting to know each and every student. So I would say our staff over the years has done a really good job of getting to know each student, listening to their interests and their passions and their strengths about what they want to do after high school, and then helping that student make a plan that makes sense for themselves and their families.
Thank you so much, Michelle. That's all the questions I have. And hopefully it will be a great resource and a great segue into all of the interesting and exciting guests that we have planned for this year.
Thank you so much for having me today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
We hope you heard something that inspires you, supports your goals, or helps you take the next steps toward your future.
Be sure to subscribe to the show, share it with your friends, and stay connected with the Upward Bound community.
Until next time, keep showing up, keep reaching out, and remember, you belong here.
This has been the Upward Bound podcast, recorded on UAF's Trithetic campus. The podcast is produced by UAF Upward Bound staff. Special thanks to the College of Engineering and Mines, as well as to UAF Student Media and KSUA 91.5 FM for additional production assistance. For more information about UAF Upward Bound, you can visit our website at uaf.edu/upwardbound or email us at uaf-ubcontact@alaska.edu. That's uaf-ubcontact@alaska.edu.